Hello, welcome to another talk on money, business, and investing. My name is Jose. I'm the founder of the company brand here at Master Investor. If you're new to our community, ensure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you know when we go live or upload a valuable talk like this one that can change our lives financially forever as long as we apply the information into our daily actions. We need to have an investment plan. Our budgeting needs to be to become wealthy, not poor, because a lot of people budget to save money, which is the opposite of becoming wealthy. We actually have to learn how to spend more money, expand our expenses, expand our assets column specifically, focus on that assets column. Our energy and focus should be all on the assets column by actively investing, not by giving our money away to anybody at all. That's not what we're helping people in our community to do. We're elevating the financial intelligence of the community so that we can invest successfully like the wealthy do and create the lifestyle that we want, because we are controlling the assets. Our companies are. We're going to incorporate, we're going to do business with a company. You cannot do business without a company, otherwise it's not a business. If you're getting paid and it's going to your name, then you have earned income. You have to pay taxes on that. So the best way to minimize taxes is stop making earned income and start producing passive income and sometimes capital gains income, because some assets will only bring capital gains income. Not all assets or asset classes. There are 5 different asset classes that exist. Number 1, business. Number 2, real estate. Number 3, crypto. Number 4, commodities. Number 5, paper assets. They all require financial education, but they don't all produce passive income. Some of them produce only capital gains income. And we need to know exactly what type of income we're getting before we even invest. That's how we know if we have done our due diligence. Cash flow are the most important words in the business language, and due diligence are the second most important words when it comes to the business language. Without due diligence, and you lose control, you don't know if the investment is toxic or if it's a healthy investment. And some investments could be mismanaged depending on what type of asset class we're talking about, right? Business or commercial real estate property. And we can improve that asset because we spot opportunities within the mismanagement of that asset by the current owner. Once we take over, we have to be sure that we can implement the strategies that we want to improve the cash flow. And remember, it's all about measuring our return on investment with facts and never with opinions. You need to look at the facts of the entity of the business. The financial statements will tell us exactly how that business operation is doing and how does the future look for it, right? Does it look healthy for it? Does it look like it's going to be in difficulties because it lacks systems and it lacks many of the integrities of a cash flow triangle that we explain inside of our digital course, how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on. If you click the link in the description, it will take you to one of our websites, and it will eventually take you to our main website where you can see all of the courses and ebooks that we have. However, the how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, that is an excellent volume to start with. If you want to truly become wealthy, it's going to give you a history of money, which we're going to cover some of that today, but it's also going to give you steps to start building passive income with digital assets and other assets and different asset classes, including if you never acquired real estate property. There's a chapter there that will explain how to acquire our first real estate property and how to improve our businesses. Or if you already have a business that is making you more than $1 million, more than $500,000, or even more than $500 million, it doesn't matter the number that you're making. If you feel stuck, then you need to get new data, a new team member, you need to seek new mentors, right? And need to get a new twist, a different perspective. I always call it a twist because we all needed a twist to become better than we are today. Like, we always are in need of that twist. Always. There's always room to grow. So we can always find a twist by seeking information, by attracting the right people, because we are self-helping ourselves, right? We're literally focusing on improving our vocabulary, helping other people's lives become better through systems, because we're serving a product to the marketplace and we are adding value to the world. We're improving conditions, and that's what it's all about. Once we do that successfully with systems, and we get rewarded through the cash flow. and we want to focus on building passive income, which is cash flow, positive cash flow. Okay, rule number one in our community is that we work to build passive income and make money work hard through sound investing. And when we do that, capital gains income will also come. But it takes a high level of financial education, which we will cover everything here in our community to build passive income or cash flow. Our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity through high-quality financial education. Made simple, we look at opportunities to build passive income and true wealth. If you're an existing partner, then thank you for being back over here on our channel. If you're looking at this on YouTube, or if you're listening to a podcast, then thank you for subscribing and being part of Master Investors community. Keeping it working by investing, by referring other people to our community to read the articles. If you want to have the article via email, all you have to do is go to our website and enter your email in the newsletter option, and it will be free. It will be linked to our platform where we publish our articles, and you'll get one via email. So if you don't have time to listen to our podcast, or maybe come on YouTube or any other platform that we're live streaming on, then at least you can read before you go to bed, or when you have a chance during the day. It will take you 5 to 10 minutes. We keep our articles short. It depends on what topic it is, but we try to keep it short so that everybody can get through it and can learn something quickly and add into their business plan immediately, right? So we want to break it all down in little pieces. That's what we're doing here inside of our community. So I'm sure that you will enjoy and will get a lot of the articles. So just go and subscribe to the newsletter. It's free. It will take you less than 1 minute to do. So today's topic is going to be how to win in today's world of millennial money. Apply the new rules of money and business principles at work in all economies. Summary: even though they are the most educated generation in U.S. history, millennials still find it difficult to comprehend how money functions. Due to the numerous financial double whammies they face, millennials' finances are still fragile. Additionally, susceptible to the loss of obligations or liabilities are millennials. When it comes to our culture in the workplace, the millennial generation has firmly taken the lead. With a population of 72.2 million and the oldest member over 40, they are now the largest and most influential generation to date. Therefore, it is important to examine their financial practices. Sadly, they might be in for a great deal of trouble. Millennials' financial practices. The millennial generation is, by all counts, the best educated generation in U.S. history. Examine the following Pew Research graph. As we can see on our screen, if you're watching this on YouTube, we see a picture of a graph, okay? Among millennials, women outpacing men in college completion. And it shows the different generations, okay? Millennials, it shows everybody there. So check it out. But they are having an issue in 2020. Despite having received more schooling, their unemployment rate was at its greatest, and their income was 20% lower than that of their parents at the same stage. And that is due to inflation as well. Furthermore, according to Refinery 29, 66% of surveyed participants believe their savings accounts alone will be sufficient enough to rely on in 20 years, which only serves to exacerbate the situation. This indicates that they strongly favor saving money as opposed to making investments. And that's the main issue right there. We want to be actively investing. Stop only working for earned income. It's fine if you love your job and you are learning and you're enjoying the time and you're making great money, right, through earned income, and you feel like that is worthwhile for you. But still, you cannot just have a plan of saving that money or giving it to a fake asset like the 401k. You're losing power, you're losing leverage, you're losing opportunity and speed to become wealthy. You can actually invest in your financial education, acquire a seminar, a course, read one of our products, get out there, look for other mentors, go out to business networking events so that you can get around the group of people that can take us to the next level. Remember, we have to be uncomfortable at all times. We need to push ourselves to be uncomfortable. That's where our dreams lay. It's where we find treasures and happiness, because we find new things and new experiences. And if we fear something, it's because we need to attack it. Listen to our gut feeling. It's an indication that we need to attack our fears when we fear something, the good fears, right? So if you're afraid to speak in public, then maybe take a class on that. Overcome the fear, because maybe you will be a great speaker. That's your calling. Whatever it is, right? Just be able to express yourself without feeling judged by everybody else, because at the end of the day, everybody has their opinion. They will give their opinion, and we have to have a thick skin. That's what we talked about yesterday, right? One of the important and crucial skills as a wealthy entrepreneur is to have a thick skin. Otherwise, you will be suffering along the way of building your wealth. We need to have that thick skin so that we can act rational when we are building our assets column. We're not acting with emotions. We have ethics, we have integrity, we're doing things accordingly to the law, and we're keeping our cash flow growing because we are reinvesting it back into our assets column that we are controlling with our companies. We're not giving the money away to anybody. It's very important that we understand this point. Now, there are some assets that you can get into, like we talked about before, right? Vehicles that do pay you dividends. But it's like a savings account, right? You're putting the money somewhere. You're not learning anything. You probably don't know anything that's going on with the entire business operation. You have no voice to it. All you do is they promise you to get you back dividends. So if you want to truly become wealthy, you gotta get in the field of investing. You gotta learn how to do it. You gotta come to the field and play. You can't just sit in the sidelines. You have to be an active investor, and that is an inside investor. Ultimately, that is a master investor or capitalist, which is the highest level of investor. That being said, preferences do not necessarily translate into action. According to a survey by Bank of America, just 20% of millennials have even begun to save, and of those who do, 40% have savings of $5,000 or less. According to the same poll that Refinery289 quoted, 88% of millennials say they want to save more money in 2016 compared to just 36% who said they want to spend less. What this demonstrates to us? The majority of millennials possess relatively little financial acumen, and what little they do know about money comes from antiquated financial theories. This demonstrates the necessity for millennials to adopt a new financial strategy. Being concerned about this research will be an understatement. The modern financial landscape will always be unfavorable to savers and employees. We cannot allow the majority of our generation to be impoverished. And remember, it's the context that is more important than the content. So we need to adopt the wealthy context and let go of the poor context. And then we start adding content daily regarding finances and more financial literacy. It's something that we should never end doing. We have to always go back to the basics, just like any master does, always helping other people become better, and at the same time we're helping ourselves become better and master our craft, which is mastering money. It's making money our slave, telling money what to do, not letting money get on our way of our dreams, because we know how to make it. We know how to multiply. We know how to invest it in the right assets and real assets that we're controlling, that we're building, that we have control and a voice. Experiences are important to millennials. We are also writing to baby boomers, a generation that love to buy items like TVs, homes, and cars, and not really know how to invest successfully due to the old rules of money and being taught to work hard for earned income instead of building wealth through businesses, because majority went through the school system, which is built to create employees and soldiers. The current generation of young people, known as the millennials, have distinct values. They value experiences more. According to US Today states, a recent Harris Group study found 72% millennials plan to focus on experiences rather than physical things in the future spending. Those who live this lifestyle even seem to have a sense of moral superiority, according to Forbes writer Marianne Salzman, CEO of Harris PR North America. Few people know why this was one of the most significant shifts in contemporary history. The US dollar was known as silver certificate before 1971 because it was actual money that was backed by gold and silver. The US dollar was changed from being an IOU from the US government to a Federal Reserve note after 1971. Our dollar was made into a liability rather than an asset. This shift has led to the United States of America being the most debtor nation in history, which it allows all of us to become good debtors, to do the exact same thing that they do, which is print money from thin air. The government works like that. The entire economy works like that. We must act like that as well to become wealthy. If you're trying to save money with the old rules of money, the old context of money, the poor context of money, then you're going to struggle financially because it's going to require you to work harder physically at a job for the same amount of money that you used to work less for in the past. And now you have to put in more hours because inflation is going to continue to rise. So the better option is to start investing in one's financial education and begin to actively invest to build passive income. To get to $1 million per year in cash flow and have a lifestyle and be able to touch that money, that means we need to have $2,750 plus per day coming in as bottom line, as our positive cash flow after all expenses are paid. And then that could be even one item that we're selling, because there are high ticket items. We don't need to create these items neither. These products we can sell from other people that already create the products. Who bring a sale to them, it will give us even more than 3,000. There are high ticket items out there that you can find. Inside of our ebook, it will explain where you can find items to sell that don't belong to us, but we get a commission. And also if it's a subscription product, then we get residual income. But even if it's one-time payment that we're getting, as long as we have sales funnels and we have the right marketing attached to it, then we have everything set on autopilot and we close in 10 sales on autopilot daily, then it's passive income. Let's say that comes in like that for the entire month, and we can redo the same ad or duplicate and do a different ad, but just keep the same message and bring in another 10 sales per day. Now we have 20 sales. So it turns into passive income because it's constant sales. And the main point is that $2,750 will get us to $1 million per year. Okay, and it's not that much. I put it into perspective so that we can all hear it. So now if you make $1,000 per day, which is, it's not that hard to do, you can actually achieve that. Now you have $500,000 per year. About $500,000, right? A little less, because if it takes 2,750, then we need to make about, $1,300 per day to be $500,000. And it's not that much. We can do that with several sales a day, even with small ticket items. Even the small ticket items will give us per sale $300. Do the math. Times that by 10, right? That's 3,000. So it's very easy to overcome that $1 million mark. Now, not everybody wants to make $1 million, and that's fine. It's not about the amount of money necessarily. It's about the control and the free time that we have, and how much can we go without working and still be able to thrive and maintain the lifestyle that we desire without shrinking at any time in the future. In fact, we can actually grow and expand at all times. We're not going to cut expenses. So how long can we grow? And that's truly how we measure our wealth, is measuring time and the passive income and cash flow that we're getting from all of our assets, right? And that's how long can we go? So we need to focus in having freedom. And we can only achieve that if we have financial literacy and we are actively investing with that financial literacy, right? And we're getting cash flow We must receive passive income in order to become an inside investor. Otherwise, you're not an investor if you're not making money while sleeping and you're actually touching that money and controlling that cash flow. Okay? So focus on building our assets column and begin to invest in your mentors and people that you truly admire and that they have done already what we want to do. Okay? If we briefly review the history of modern money, we can easily see why the 1971 move was so significant. Germany's monetary system broke after World War I. This was due to a number of factors. One of them being the freedom of the German government to generate money whenever it pleased. The resulting money deluge led to unchecked inflation or hyperinflation. Even though there were more marks, fewer and fewer were purchased. A pair of shoes cost 13 marks in 1913. The same pair of shoes cost 32 trillion marks in 1923. The middle class savings were destroyed as inflation rose. The middle class, having spent all of their savings, wanted new leadership following Adolf Hitler's 1933 election as Germany's chancellor. The Holocaust and World War II transpired quite quickly. A fresh monetary system. The Bretton Woods system was implemented in the later stages of World War II with the aim of stabilizing global currency markets. Since there was a gold backing for the currencies, it was a quasi-gold standard. Up until the United States started importing Volkswagens from Germany and Toyotas from Japan in the 1960s, the system functioned perfectly. All of a sudden, the United States was exporting less gold than it was importing, and gold was fleeing the nation. President Nixon terminated the Bretton Woods system in 1971 to help the depletion of gold reserves, and the US dollar took its place as the primary medium of exchange worldwide. Never before in human history has the fiat currency of one country served as the global currency. Let's look up the following definitions in the dictionary in order to better grasp this. Fiat money. Money that is not convertible into coins or other currencies with the same value, such as paper money. Fiat, an ordered or deliberate act that produces something with or without additional effort. Does this mean money can be created out of thin air? Germany did it, and now we are doing it. The US government does it, then we can also do it too. Savers are losers. During World War II, we cannot forget that Hitler rose to power as a result of the middle class losing their money. When people lose money, they behave irrationally. The illness of liability. Fundamentals are fundamentals at the end of the day, regardless of how attractive they are packaged. Despite their contempt for their parents' generation for consumerism, millennials are actually afflicted with the same financial ailment and insatiable need to spend lavishly on debt, on bad debt specifically, on things that really takes money out of their pocket to look good, but it's not really putting money in their pocket. Now there's a lot of liabilities that people have that they can turn into assets, but unless they have financial education, they will not be able to see how can they proceed with moving that into their asset column that will produce, of course, passive income. If it's not producing passive income, then it will not be considered as an asset. Okay, or if you're not making capital gains income or passive income, right? Those are the two types of income that we can get from investment. Either passive income, which is also known as positive cash flow, and the other one is capital gains income. We want to focus on passive income, but we're also going to get capital gains income because we are diversifying among the 5 different asset classes that exist. That's what we do here so that we can protect ourselves from down economies and hedge for inflation. To put it in plainly, experiences, no matter how wonderful, are still financial obligations or liabilities. And we won't be able to savor such experiences in later life if we don't start making wise financial decisions now. What then should a millennial do? Being wealthy doesn't mean being greedy. The timeless lessons from our content are relevant today. Develop our financial literacy, make investments in cash flow and assets, and use that cash flow to fund our passions. The millennial generation has a wonderful opportunity to leverage their passion for experiences to increase their wealth and financial literacy, but that goes for everybody too, regardless of our generation. I mean, today the internet has allowed us to really tap into something that never in history has been possible. Okay, everybody has a chance to start building wealth fast using debt and using other people's money and the bank's money, of course, and creating money from thin air. Because if we're using the bank's money, debt, and we're cash flowing, that's creating money from thin air. It's money for nothing. If we haven't put any money of our own into the deal, and if we have, then we recoup that money back. Then after that, it's infinite return on investment. It's money from thin air. The point is that we must learn how to master good debt. Don't be afraid of debt. If you have bad debt, then learn how to get into good debt. Learn to get into more debt, but the right debt, and just use debt to invest in sound assets, and those assets eventually will pay for all the bad debt that you have. Those liabilities, expenses should be paid by the assets that we are controlling, and we can always continue to expand even further because we have no limit on how many assets we can collect and build on our assets column. The goal is not to acquire more possessions before we have assets. It is about making sure we have enough money to do the things we love and continue to be giving people we are for the rest of our life. It's about having cash flow and building our wealth and having freedom. So like I said, it's not necessarily about the money, because if you're just measuring wealth with money, then why so many people that have money in their bank account are not wealthy? They're not free. They have to show up to work. And if they stop working, they stop getting a paycheck and their savings will run out. And if they pull the money out of their fake assets, the 401k and the other fake pension plans, which are made for the financially illiterate, then they will get penalized when they pull that money out earlier. So at the end of the day, is our choice how we want to project our life in the future. I mean, time goes and we need to master the game of money now. Okay, this game of money we have to play to the end of our days. So we need to, and here on this earth at least, right? So we need to master the game. We need to make sure that money is our slave. We need to tell money what to do. Move the currency, or today's money. This brings us up a further crucial point. Money must always move someplace, as it is no longer just money, but rather currency or debt. It's created with debt. That's why all debt is tax-free. That's why another important point, why to utilize debt, because we can minimize taxes. Right from the gate, we're already paying zero in taxes using debt. And if we do that investment successfully with that debt, and we're building passive income, and we have the right tax strategy to allocate each dollar into where it should, so that we can minimize taxes and keep as much as possible instead of giving it back to the government, we can utilize the tax code and corporate laws to minimize taxes to zero on many occasions legally. But we need to document everything. We need to make sure that we have the right team of professionals. So make sure it's all about documenting everything. It's not about hiding money at all. That's not what we learn how to do here in our community. It's actually about doing business the legal way and becoming wealthy the right way, so that we protect our freedom. Those are the three things that are priceless, in our opinion, here in our community when it comes to money: our freedom, our minds, and our time, right? Freedom, mind, and time. Those are three things that we should never jeopardize. Okay, we should always nurture. Financial currency is like an electrical current. It cannot exist without movement. In essence, saving money means letting our money depreciate. And we're losing money when we're saving money, because number one, savers have to pay taxes on that money, can't keep up with inflation, And the other thing is that it hinders the entrepreneur spirit of the person. The individual who saved money the entire year did not learn anything about money. A monkey can be taught to put money in the bank. It doesn't take financial education to do that. And now it's automatically, if you're getting paid direct deposit, then it goes out. You don't even need to go to the bank anymore. So it's even worse. It really hinders the entrepreneur spirit of the individual, which is what we want to awaken in our community. Money is moving, which is why we observe extreme fluctuations in areas like the stock market, real estate, and even cryptocurrencies. The wealthy are aware of this and make frequent use of our financial literacy to ascertain early and regularly where money is going. As per the proverb, to purchase low and sell high. Furthermore, they use our revenues to buy other assets that increase our wealth rapidly and generate more positive cash flow. The good news is that with a high financial IQ, anyone can accomplish this. Adhere to the 4 pillars of financial literacy. Knowing the 4 pillars of financial literacy is a smart place to start if, like many millennials, this post has us contemplating our financial future and we want to become more financially literate. Although we may read more about them at the affirmation link in short, there are 1, the distinction between a liability and an asset. Many people believe they understand what constitutes an asset. For example, majority homeowners most likely believe that their home is a valuable asset, but it is not unless it's producing positive cash flow for the homeowner via renting to others, and the revenue must cover all expenses including the mortgage of the house in order for it to be a true asset. In actuality, the majority of accounting systems have overly convoluted the term. To put it simply, an asset adds positive cash flow to our finances, while a liability depletes as an expense. And there's nothing wrong with liabilities, right? Maybe those liabilities are things that we enjoy, experiences like we mentioned before. Maybe it's a car that we just like to drive, or a vacation that we like to take, or some sort of high-end accessory or piece of clothing, right? So whatever that may be, we just need to create an asset and acquire an asset so that it pays for that. And at the same time, we're even coming ahead of that transaction because we're going to keep control over the asset, and that asset can continue to buy other liabilities for us. So we can always expand our expenses, not about cutting expenses. You cannot become wealthy if all you think about is saving money. If you are saving money, then that saving must have a plan, an investment plan behind it. When you reach a certain point, then now that money needs to be moved to whatever asset you were planning to put it in. So the saving has to have a plan, and it has to move quickly. You cannot save forever. Start moving the money. Don't save, move it. If you're saving, it's because you don't have financial education. Because if you have financial education, then you wouldn't be saving it. You should be moving it right away, putting it to work, creating more money. So it does not take money to make money, but because we can create it from thin air. But what it takes is financial education to be able to create money, and to make money, make more money through sound investing. It requires financial education. Otherwise, it'll be a gamble. If we stick to that definition, we will succeed. So when we invest into anything, whether it's a liability or an asset, we have to ask ourselves, is this an asset that's going to put money in our pocket? Or is it just going to take as an expense, as an experience that we want to have? And so we need to figure out, can we create an asset instead of investing in that liability first? Can we create an asset first? And the answer is yes, we can. We just need to maybe take the sacrifice and wait a little longer before we get that experience. But as long as we build that asset, we don't have to pay out of our pocket for that experience. The asset will, the revenue of the asset, and it's going to continue to give us more experiences alike to that one. We can keep that experience in our life because we can pay with the asset that we have. so we can have it as many times as we want. Number 2, capital gains compared to positive cash flow, or also known as passive income. Most investors hope to make capital gains. Affluent people invest for cash flow. Putting another perspective, investing for capital gains is similar to gambling. We make an investment and hope that the value increases. Wealthy people invest for positive cash flow, on the other hand. Additionally, any capital gains are a bonus, and it also gets reinvested into a cash flowing asset. There are always cash flowing assets available to acquire, and we can also build one from scratch when we have financial education. That is why financial education is key to our true wealth, because it gives us the power to create cash flow from thin air, literally. Number 3, making money through taxes and borrowing good debt. We will hear from our financial advisor, right? You need to get a tax advisor, and we have networks of options inside of our community, so you can take a look. But there are many people out there in the market where you can talk to and have a consultation as you're making your money, your wealth, and he or she should encourage you to even build more wealth. Okay, it should not tell you, oh, you should make money, like because you're gonna pay taxes. Actually, the tax advisor will help us minimize taxes by making even more money the right way through investing. We will hear from our also that taxes are unavoidable and that debt is terrible, right? Many advisors, the bad advisors, will tell people that taxes must be paid, that it cannot be avoided. But that is the wrong advisor. He or she has the poor context, and that advisor is for the poor mindset, okay? However, the wealthy are aware that massive riches can be generated through taxes as well as loans. There are 2 types of debt, good debt and bad debt. Good debt is the kind of debt that is used to buy assets, like real estate or business that is cash flowing. Liabilities are purchased with bad debt, such as when a vacation is paid for it with a credit card. Instead of using that credit card for building a digital asset or launching a brand or whatever business operation we want to undertake, that the credit card, that money was used for something that was just an expense. However, if you can turn that vacation into wealth, then maybe you could, right? You could start your business from there. But just to keep it simple, if you're using that credit card just for pleasure and it's not bringing any cash flow back, then it's definitely a liability, and that would be bad debt. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as we focus on building assets that will pay for those liabilities. 4, taking charge of our finances. We allow other people to dictate our financial judgments when we lack confidence in our financial acumen. We give our broker complete control over how our funds are invested if we let them take control over our money and decisions. We cannot let other people tell us, and we cannot give our money away to others to invest it for us. We must actively invest it. We allow our bank to choose the appropriate interest rate for our funds. We adhere to whatever investing fad that makes headlines. Having great information to act on and great wisdom to recognize which course of action is best is the key to building tremendous wealth. Only those with a high level of financial intelligence acquired by a commitment of financial education daily are capable of possessing this kind of information and insight. How to address the financial issues facing millennials. Nevertheless, there are at least some promising developments in America's financial literacy scene. There could be significant good change in a generation if a generation decides not to participate in the higher education monopoly in this country. It is not too late for Generation Z and Millennials alike, but it begins with financial literacy and an awareness of how money functions in the modern economy. Here are a few short suggestions. Make the most of our travels to learn about the regional real estate market, people through networking, and locate possible assets with strong cash flows. Utilize sharing economy platforms such as Airbnb and Uber to generate revenue streams. Create an investment club with our friends and add a socially conscious element to the concept. For example, pooling some money to support a charity together to make it more enticing. To raise money and develop a business, look for ways to sell the products we make as a hobby, but always using systems. A sound business is a system of systems. The goal is only to get our brain working. Each of these concepts may be opposed unto itself. The principles learned in our community are relevant now more than ever. If we want to secure our financial future, we will need to adjust our perspective on investment and money and adopt the context of the wealthy. I hope that you enjoyed today's talk. Let me know if you have any feedback for us down in the comment section. Make sure you click the link in the description. We have different tools and resources so that you can begin to start getting passive income, right? It's all about getting that money, touching that money. Where is our money? Where is our passive income? It's about building those pipelines that will produce excess of cash flow. The 3 E's of a master investor. Number 1, financial education. Number 2, financial experience, which comes from actively investing. Number 3, excess of cash flow. We gotta receive that passive income and capital gains income. We cannot wait 30 years to touch our money. So focus on building businesses that produce passive income, and that passive income will be used to buy other assets. And that way we become very wealthy because our money is literally working for us, from one system to another system, from one asset to another asset, from an asset class to another asset class. And we're also investing always in our financial education by going to seminars, online seminars. It doesn't have to be physical, but I do suggest that we go out there and network as much as possible because we need to stay socialized with other people. We need to practice our social skills and communicate. And if you want to start live streaming or doing podcasts with your passions, go ahead, because that also can bring ad revenue, it can bring passive income, and we can start building that financial freedom where you replace your entire earned income with your passive income and capital gains income, where now you don't have to go to work anymore. You can retire if you want and just focus on compounding that assets column that is bringing you the amount that you need to pay all of your bills. As long as all of our bills and anything that we do is being paid through our passive income and capital gains income, then we're financially free. And as long as we continue to grow that, right, we can expand. It's not about shrinking, because if we can build an asset, we can build another one. And if we learn how to use other people's money, debt, then we can always knock on banks' doors and lenders and bring in good deals that attracts other people's money. Because when we have great deals in our hand, what happens? Money comes our way. Money finds us. And if it doesn't find us, we go and find it. But we need to attract success by the person that we become along the way. That's why self-development, building our leadership skills, it's about bringing the best out of our team members. We need great communication skills. We don't necessarily need to be the best in our team. If we are the best in our team, then our team is in trouble and we need to find ourselves a new team. So our team is supposed to be composed of smarter people than we are. And we need to learn how to speak and how to lead successfully. Because one thing is having smart people working together and not so smart people working together. It's harder to have smart people working together because they're going to question everything. So it needs to make sense to everybody involved. If it doesn't make sense, then it's going to be a struggle. So communication comes in handy on that part. Once we can show up and demonstrate that we are a great leader that has confidence, and we can lead our success to a whole different level with our vision and mission of the company, and we have a great infrastructure, and it's something that the world really needs, and we can explain the cash flow analysis, and everything is accordingly to the business plan and the opportunity that we're demonstrating to other investors, and our money is never going to be a problem. It's going to always be easy to acquire money because the job number one of a wealthy entrepreneur is to raise capital. And the number one skill is to learn how to sell without selling using systems. And the number one job of an inside investor or master investor is to make money, work hard through sound investing. So people that talk about diversification, when they say diversify in one asset class, that is a recipe for disaster. You don't want to follow that type of advice. That is naive. You never want to just put all your eggs in one basket. You want to start with an asset class and immediately start looking for other asset classes. As you're getting excess of cash flow from one asset, you're buying another asset in a different asset class that is also producing passive income or capital gains income. But ultimately, we want to build businesses that, like I said earlier, buys other businesses, okay? And that's how we're going to leverage ourselves to riches. And there's no limit. Everybody's wealth number is different, so don't necessarily measure in money. You don't need to be a millionaire to become wealthy, to be financially free. You just need to have assets that will pay for your standard of living. And as long as you love that standard of living, you're going to feel like any other ultra wealthy feels like, right? Totally free. If you don't require a private jet to satisfy your pleasures, then just having a house or having a regular car that you don't pay for, that your business is paying for, that your assets are paying for it, that makes you feel like a king and queen, right? So it doesn't matter how much it is. What matters is the total freedom that we have and how long can we go with that lifestyle. So start focusing on building the assets column, because that's the answer, and for everybody. So how do we win in today's world of millennial money? Apply the new rules of money and business principles that work in all economies. That's how we win. And that is how we will stay ahead of everybody else, because we will going to see a lot of people struggle in the future financially, and we're going to see people thriving because they adopt the new monetary system, they adopt the new rules of money. We have 3 ebooks right now, the 10 new rules of money, how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, and how to invest in crypto to build wealth, understanding Bitcoin and blockchain. You can find the link in the description. You can also get the books on Amazon if you like to have the paperback, or read them on Kindle. But when you go to our website and you get them from there, we have turned each ebook into a vivid digital course that is growing as we move forward, with additional assets that we add in to emphasize on the topic of each volume. So when you get in today, you will always be grandfathered in for any other additional asset that we add into that specific course in the future, regardless of how much we will charge for our new partners in the near future. So it's a great deal, it's a good investment, and any updates that we make, you will always have access to anything that we put in that course, okay? So take advantage, you will learn a lot, you will take advantage of all the tools that we are sharing in that community, in that specific course, to help us build true wealth. I hope that you learn a lot on today's talk. I will talk to you next time, and reach out if you have any questions. I'm here to help. I'm here to elevate our partners financially to the next level. Thank you for having me, and stay extraordinary and wealthy. Bye for now.